Coming up tonight on 18 Eyewitness News.
Coming up on 18 Eyewitness News tonight, area Republicans provide some surprises in a straw poll event this weekend. Also, uncertainty has caused a Missouri Senate candidate to suspend his campaign. Plus, legislators are proceeding with bills aimed at making the state friendlier to business. All of these stories and how long will the 60-degree temperature stay with us?
News, sports, weather. This is 18 Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Fred Dawkins. Tonight's top story, area Republicans provided some surprises at Saturday's straw poll at Mineral Area College. Rick Santorium won the presidential straw poll. Congressman Tom Aiken, who spoke to the group, won the poll for U.S. Senate. Now, for the 8th U.S. Congressional District, a representative incumbent, Joanne Emerson, addressed the group, as did her challenger, Bob Parker, and Parker won the straw poll.
The main thing is people are tired of business as usual in Washington, D.C. They want people just, to represent them in Washington. And I think the choice is clear. You have someone that supported big government, big bailouts, and a lot of programs that people realized are, really destroying our freedoms. And living in this district for 35 years, I think I can represent how the people feel here. I think I can represent businesses and jobs and all the things that we need in this district.
Farmington businessman Gary Romine got the nod for Missouri State Senator, and for Missouri Representative, both current Senator Kevin Engler and Farmington City Councilman John Robinson addressed the Assembly, and Robinson won the straw poll.
To me, it meant a lot. I mean, of course, not as important as the primary, Terry, but it meant a lot to me. People heard my message. They believe in my conservative ideals. I really promote myself as a strong Christian man of God, too. And I think people are looking for that, in our community, and people that are principled, that have core values. I think more than the important thing is just they believe my message and they take heart in that.
The next event for Missouri's Republicans will be the presidential primary February 7th and the caucuses on March 17th. Now Dustin is here. Let's take a look at our first forecast. Dustin?
Well, Fred, as we move into the evening hours, it's going to be a little mild. 7 p.m., we're going to see clear skies, 49 degrees. By 9 p.m., 48 and clear skies. And those clear skies are going to continue through midnight with a temperature around 47 degrees. Now, as we move into the bus stop tomorrow, we'll see temperatures in the 40s, 45, and sunshine. It's going to be a nice bus stop, just a little chilly, so continue to bundle your kids up. As far as tomorrow, it's going to be another nice day, but some changes are on the way. I'll give you those details later on in weather.
Former State Representative Patrick Nager is suspending his campaign for the state Senate's 3rd District. The Perryville businessman originally got into the Senate race based on the redrawn 3rd District. However, when the Missouri State Supreme Court threw out that redistricting map, Nager felt there was too much uncertainty to continue his campaign.
This is not how I planned it, but I'm a pragmatic fella, and there's just a lot going on. And again, as my statement says, that office is way bigger than one person. And I still, I was lucky enough. I got to serve 8 years in the Missouri House, so I'm still a real lucky guy.
Nager says he will continue to serve and support his community and the candidate who will best represent Southeast Missouri. State Representative Linda Black compares the legislature returning to Jefferson City to going back to school. The Bonne Terre Democrat says the first couple of weeks have mainly been spent on housekeeping issues. Representative Black says the House Committee on Tourism and Natural Resources has met and taken up a very important bill.
Another bill that's very, very important deals with public drinking water. And right now the state does collect fees and permitting fees for our clean drinking water. Those fees are sunsetting, and so we must extend that sunset out further so that the Department of Natural Resources can monitor the drinking water systems here in the state of Missouri. Representative Black expects more controversial legislation to begin making its way through the House in the next few weeks.
And when we come back, Missouri Senate Republicans proceed with their plans for making the state friendlier toward business. That story is coming up next here on Eyewitness News on Channel 18. Missouri Senate Republicans are starting work on one of their priorities, and that's making the state friendlier toward business. That process began last week with legislation that would make it harder for employees to sue their employers for discrimination. Under current judicial interpretation, an employee in Missouri must only prove that his or her protected status was a contributing factor against them. But Senate Republicans want to revert to the standard where it must be proven that an employee's protected status was a motivating factor in their employer's actions. Senate President Pro Tem Rob Mayer of Dexter says the proposed legislation addresses changes made by the courts.
This law brings Missouri statute and law back to where it had been 5 or 6 years ago. And here recently, over the last 5 or 6 years, the courts have crafted a different direction in this area of the law. This will bring it back to where it once existed.
The bill's sponsor, Brad Lager of Savannah, argued that his bill would help attract more employers to Missouri by putting the state's discrimination standards back in line with the rest of the nation. The United Cancer Assistance Network of Southeast Missouri is encouraging cancer survivors, family, friends, and supporters to come together to walk through the streets of Poplar Bluff. The inaugural Walk Because You Can is scheduled May 19th and support the network and honor Sarah White, who recently lost her battle with cancer. UCAN spokesperson Melody Malloy says the network steps in to help those battling cancer.
Our mission is completely to ease some of the burdens brought on in the wake of cancer diagnosis. Enhancing quality of life experienced by cancer patients will help pay utility bills, will help get gas cards, because expenses change. And if you can't work, when you're in a fight for your life, you shouldn't have to fight to keep your electricity on.
There are no sponsorship levels or fees to walk, but walkers are encouraged to raise funds to support the work of UCAN. Melody says 100% of the proceeds will go directly to UCAN to benefit those in Butler and Stoddard counties. Well, still to come this hour on Channel 18, a new move to get medical providers to be more transparent about their training. Don Arnold has these stories about dishonest doctors in today's Your Health segment. But Dustin Kopp is in our Channel 18 Weather Center making a last-minute check of our Storm Tracker 18 forecast, which is coming up next here on Channel 18.
And welcome back as we head through the evening into tomorrow. We're going to continue to see the nice weather like we did today. However, by tomorrow afternoon, we should see some rain moving in, and then we're going to continue to see those above normal temperatures for this time of year for the next few days at least. As we head into our current conditions in southeast Missouri, temperatures are nice out there right now, 52 in Fredericktown, as well as in Piedmont, 55 right now in Ironton, 53 in St. Louis, 54 in Rolla, 53 right now in Marble Hill. Factor in the wind. We do have a little bit of a wind chill, nothing too drastic, 52 right now in Ironton, 49 up in St. Louis, 49 in Ellington and Van Buren, 51 in Rolla, 49 in Piedmont, as well as in Marble Hill. Currently here in southeast Missouri at the station, we have a temperature of 51 degrees, clear skies. Feels like 46 because of that south wind at 13, and our current humidity right now at 59%. So, what's in store for tomorrow? Here's what's going to happen. We're going to see that nice weather move through the southeast Missouri. We're going to continue to see sunshine for the next several hours into tomorrow morning, and then we're going to start seeing rain move in tomorrow afternoon. So your forecast lows for this evening, they're going to be in the 40s, 44 from St. Louis through Farmington, 41 in Fredericktown, 42 in Piedmont and Poplar Bluff, 45 in Ironton, 43 in Ellington, Van Buren. We'll see a low around 40 degrees. Tonight, we'll see a low around 44 degrees. It's going to be clear out there. South wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, here's where the big change comes. We'll see a nice day in the morning, high of 64, partly cloudy, and then we'll see some afternoon showers move in through the area. South-southwest wind at 20 to 30. Those showers are going to continue through tomorrow night, and then by the next day, we should clear out. So, Next several days, as we move into Wednesday, partly cloudy, high 55, 56, and mostly sunny on Thursday. Rain moves back into the forecast on Friday with a high of 49. Cooler by Saturday, and we should see a mix of some snow and rain with that temperature around 40, 41 degrees. And then as we move into Sunday, rain continues with a high of 45, 45 on Monday, but clearing out, and we're going to see some sunshine. That's a check of your forecast. I'm Storm Tracker Chief Weathercaster Dustin Gobb. Fred, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Dustin. And now Dawn is here with tonight's Your Health segment on Channel 18.
A woman dies in Philadelphia while undergoing a cosmetic procedure in a hotel room. A similar situation in Las Vegas claims the life of a woman in a warehouse. These are tragic cases of cosmetic procedures gone wrong. Some say they are becoming more common. But now there's a move to put a stop to it, one doctor at a time. With details, here's Clark Powell.
Despite all she's been through, Denora Rodriguez feels lucky. She underwent surgery to have her breast implants replaced, but woke up to much more than she ever bargained for. The surgeon botched her implants, causing them to merge together. And to make matters worse, during the same surgery, decided to operate on Denora's eyes without her permission. Now she can no longer close her eyes completely and must care for them constantly.
I have to deal with this, doctor said, for the rest of my life, and having to put some medication at night, and it's very uncomfortable for me. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
It's a story Dr. Steve Teitelbaum is hearing more often. As a member of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, he was able to fix Denora's implants, but says what's even more disturbing than stories like hers is a medical system that allows it to happen.
It's actually legal. It's legal in this country, as advanced as it is, for a non-board certified plastic surgeon to perform plastic surgery.
Part of the problem, says Dr. Teitelbaum, is that once doctors get their medical license, they can practice in any field they choose. Only 4 states have tough truth in advertising measures on the books, requiring providers to be more transparent about their training. But there's nothing on a national level.
Action.
So the American Society of Plastic Surgeons is taking action. A new campaign is warning patients that just because someone offers a procedure doesn't mean they're qualified to perform it.
What should happen is that state medical boards should say, you were trained in pediatrics, you were trained in orthopedic surgery, so you get to do pediatrics and you get to do orthopedic surgery. That's it. It's that simple.
Until that happens, it's up to patients like Denora to learn exactly what their doctors are qualified to do before doing anything at all. In Los Angeles, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Experts say that before you choose to have a procedure, research your medical provider thoroughly and ask your plastic surgeon if he or she is a member of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, and look for the ASPS logo.
Coming up in today's Your Life segment on Channel 18, their actions may say, I don't need you, but the truth is they do. The risks and rewards of raising foster children. That's today on Focus on the Family with Dr. Bill Meyer.
And coming up in sports, the Cardinals have put Kyle McClellan on the market. Mizzou travels to Texas to take on the Longhorns tonight, and the Rams can now play home games in London. These stories and more coming up on 18 Eyewitness News.
This is 18 Eyewitness News, Sports.
In boys high school basketball scores from Friday night, Bismarck won big over Valley Caledonia, 73-49. North County downed Potosi, 87-74. South Iron doubled up Meadow Heights, 58-29. Valley Catholic survived Kingston, 46-42. Farmington 93, St. Genevieve 40. Central fell to Fredericktown 57-34. West County defeated Arcadia Valley 56-49. Cape Central over Poplar Bluff 54-38. St. Vincent falls to Hillsborough 59-41. And Clearwater big over Greenville 79-38. According to media reports, the Cardinals are shopping versatile right-hander Kyle McClellan to alleviate a numbers crunch in their bullpen and to restore payroll flexibility that could be committed to a free agent starting pitcher. General Manager John Mozeliak recently said the possibility exists of a trade involving McClellan, but said he believes it's more likely that the Florissant native will report with Cardinals pitchers and catchers to Jupiter, Florida on February 18th. The Cardinals have attempted to engage a number of clubs in talks for McClellan. The Baltimore Orioles have emerged as one of the most promising trade partners for him, according to sources. 16 days after their first meeting of the season, Mizzou and Texas will meet in Austin for the last time as MU makes the 5th of 9 Big 12 farewell road appearances at 8 o'clock tonight. The game will be carried nationally on ESPN. The subplot includes Mizzou coach Frank Haith taking a team to Texas for the first time since serving as an assistant coach there to Rick Barnes from 2001 to 2004. While less than 3 weeks from their first clash, this game figures to have fundamental distinctions from the previous one, an 84-73 Mizzou victory in Columbia. Like many teams, the Tigers struggle to win conference road games. They're 2-2 in Big 12 road play, 19-0 otherwise this season. Meanwhile, the young Texas team is showing signs of being close to a breakthrough and is apt to tweak some strategy that backfired in the first meeting. And the public agency that runs the Edward Jones Dome has said the Rams cannot play home games more than 4,000 miles away in London under the terms of its lease here. The St. Louis Convention and Visitors Commission contends that the Rams' plan to play one home game in London each year for the next 3 seasons would violate the team's 30-year lease of the Dome. That lease is under increased scrutiny as the CBC tries to figure how to close an escape clause that could let the Rams skip town after the 2014 season. Wednesday is the deadline for the CBC to present the Rams with a detailed plan for improving the Dome to satisfy the lease's requirement that it be a first-tier stadium or one that's in the top 25% of all National Football League venues. And that's a look at sports. We'll be back with tonight's Your Life segment right after this on 18 Eyewitness News.
I'm Stacey Johnson. Do you think you know what's going to happen to the stock market this year? What about oil prices? How about housing prices? It's time to compare your guesses to those of the experts on Wall Street. Forecast 2012. That's just ahead on Money Talks News.
Foster care has had a bad reputation in a lot of ways, but as Dr. Bill Meyer explains in today's conclusion of a special 2-part series, that doesn't mean that good foster parents aren't desperately needed.
It's very challenging, however, it's very rewarding.
In our last segment, we met Claude and Nadira, who became foster parents out of a deep-seated conviction that foster children need the same love and limits as their own children need.
You just do what's right, like you would do for your own kids. Be respectable, teach them boundary, discipline. We have them that run away kids, so we have to be able to bond with them to make them realize you don't need to run. We could talk about whatever you need to talk about.
Of course, it's not always easy. Foster kids typically come from difficult family situations, and that means they may not immediately fit into your family.
Foster parents think, oh, I'm going to go in and I'm going to save this child, and they're going to appreciate me and they're going to value me. And then they get this child who is hateful and belligerent and just not wanting to participate in their family.
That's because foster children have often experienced trauma. At the same time, they still desperately long for their own family.
They don't see the fact that they are from a broken home. All they know is that I got taken away from my mom and daddy and I want to go back there.
And that brings up an important point. In foster care, the main goal is often to reunite the original family after certain benchmarks have been met. So adopting a foster child is typically rare.
Because I would love to have all of them. Because it hurt when you go to court and now they have to go.
Even though the situation may be temporary, foster parents can demonstrate a loving family to kids who desperately need that experience.
Kids who don't go into foster care end up on the street. There's a lot of bad things out there that children can get caught up into.
We feed them, we talk to them, we respect them, we work with them. So it's very rewarding, to see that you're making a difference.
There is a place for adoption in some foster care scenarios, but for the most part, the relief that foster parents provide to troubled kids is temporary. That doesn't change the fact that it's critically needed. For Focus on the Family, I'm Dr. Bill Meyer.
For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, please visit FocusOnTheFamilyTV.com. Every year, experts predict what's going to happen in the year ahead, especially when it comes to your money. Today, money reporter Stacy Johnson gets some ideas from a top economist and from regular folks as well.
As one year ends and another begins, the experts on Wall Street are falling all over themselves to predict the year ahead. But are those experts really any smarter than the average person on the street? For many years now, we've conducted an annual experiment by getting predictions from big Wall Street firms and people like you. Let's start with the stock market. What the heck is going to happen in 2012? Business Insider surveyed 16 top Wall Street analysts, averaged their predictions, and the market should be up 8% in 2012. What does Main Street say?
I think it'll go down by 2-3%.
So Wall Street says up 8%, Main Street says down 2%. Now a toughie. What's going to happen to oil prices? The Energy Information Administration is forecasting oil prices for 2012 will average about $98 a barrel. It's about where they are now. How does Main Street see it?
Barrel of oil should be somewhere $115, $120 a barrel. It will go up after the elections again.
And one final prediction, housing. Real estate site Zillow surveyed more than 100 economists, real estate experts, and market strategists. The consensus? A decline of about 0.2% next year. Here's a prediction from Main Street.
I think that housing prices will go up about 4%.
Okay, now we've got our predictions down. Meet me here 1 year from today, and we're going to see who was smarter, Wall Street or Main Street. And in the meantime, if you want more predictions, more information, it's waiting for you right here at moneytalksnews.com. I'm Stacy Johnson.
And as Stacy said, he's got more information and links at his website. To get there, all you got to do is go to moneytalksnews.com. What a wonderful weekend we had, Dustin. Lots of sunshine yesterday. Almost made you want to get outside and start doing some yard work or gardening. And now with temperatures in the 60s and even 50s for the rest of the week, I'm telling you what, it makes it feel like springtime out here.
It does. It makes it feel like springtime. It makes you want to go out and enjoy the sunshine while it's still out. I know a lot of times when we leave here, it's dark, so can't really enjoy that sunshine too much, but can't complain for the weather.
No. How's it going to look the rest of this week?
The rest of the week, a little rainy tomorrow night. Tomorrow, however, is going to look pretty nice. Temperatures back in the 60s, and then tomorrow night we'll see a little rain move in, and then after that, temperatures back down in the 50s with more sunshine.
Long-range forecast for February. What are we looking at? Any idea?
I always hate to throw out a long-range forecast because, you know, it's long-range and you don't want to predict too much. Like I said earlier this month, I was thinking we're probably going to see a lot of snowfall by the end of the month. Haven't seen much snowfall this month, but I'm thinking more towards the middle of February we may see some snow.
Actually, we do need quite a bit of precipitation because we're actually down from last year because of the drought that came through in the summer, about, 17 inches below normal precipitation. Right. So we could use the precipitation, but I don't want to see any snow.
I don't want to see too much snow either. Just maybe one snowfall will be okay, and then I'm the type of person, once you have one snowfall, I'm done.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm done. Ready for spring to move in and summer and enjoy the weather.
Amen. That's going to do it for our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll be here tomorrow night at 6 o'clock with more on KDKZ Channel 18. Until then, have a great, blessed evening, everybody. God bless you and your family, and good night.
Good night, everybody. Newswatch is next.